Fred here. Thanks for stopping by today. Of course, another project need to work on. Always something to do in the rig. We're out here in the Bounder. Today's project is working on this little LCD rear view camera. So this mount came with some sticky on the bottom, and the only option here that I thought of was putting it on this foam, the foam dashboard. That lasted about a week. Just would not stick. So my thought was maybe velcroing it down. Tried some velcro, didn't work either. So now I'm at a point where I've got to figure out a permanent solution. I think the only place I can really put it is up here on the hard plastic dashboard. And if I put it up here, I'm going to use 2 screws to screw it in, and it's kind of out of the way here. Good visually. It's not too high where a driver couldn't see over the top of it, and you'll always be able to see your without glancing down here even. So I think it's going to work out pretty good up there. One thing that did happen was I took this off the other day and this piece broke. Very brittle plastic. Had to use some Loctite on there, and in doing so the Loctite kind of fused it so it won't pivot anymore. Luckily I've got it pretty straight, and thanks for going to the top there. But the camera's going to be a little off. It's not going to be totally perfectly horizontal. There's a little bit of tilt, but that's just the way it is. This was kind of trial run anyway with this. This wasn't that expensive. I might get a little bit better of an LCD. We'll see. So what I'm going to do is take that mount, 2 screws, and then just move this cable over. But in doing so, I need to get this top off. So let me get this top off. These are just little covers that'll pop off that expose a Phillips head screw. And we have my cordless here. We've got like a 1/16 drill bit. We'll drill holes in that mount, and then I'll use that to drill into this plastic. Let me get this top off and we'll pick it up there. So here's what you're going to have when you get the top off. Took off the screws. Here's my LCD rear view camera. One cable comes out. Off of that there's going to be 3 wires. One's going to be for the RCA input, so you can see video. There's a ground wire, and then there's a power 12 volt. Here's your ground bar. As you can see from Ford and Fleetwood, this is where they ground most of their dashboard equipment. I took my 12 volt ground wire and put it on one of the ground cables here. I then took my 12 volt and ran it over to my panel here. From here I could draw off 12 volt. I found one that provides 12 volt constant. Use the add a fuse junction, and I have my power coming right there. Simple, easy to do. You just have to take off this panel to get to all of your connections. Now what I want to do is I want to take this mount. I don't have a lot of slack, but luckily I don't have to go very far. So next step is going to be drilling my 2 holes into here, probably drilling in a pilot hole, and then I'll have my mount right there. I also have to drill a hole in the back here so I have room for my cabling. which isn't really a big deal. I can do that into the top. So that's the next step. Let me get my 2 pilot holes drilled, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we have this now mounted using 2 small screws. I pre-drilled into the mount, and then I just attached the Phillips head bit and just sunk those in. That is really strong connection right there. That's what I needed to begin with. Don't mess around with trying to mount on this. That foam never work. Next step, I need to make sure that this lip here doesn't interfere with my screws, which I don't believe it will. And then I need to drill a hole for the cable, so we have an access to that. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. I may have to actually trim off some of this, unfortunately. That's a pretty big lip. I'm going to think about that. Alright, we'll figure it out. I was going to have to drill a hole in here, but I slid this cover on it. I mean, it just fits right in there. I'm not sure I'm going to have to do anything at all. I think it's just gonna fit just fine. There's plenty of slack there. It's not like it's gonna hurt anything. I'm just gonna leave it as is. I don't think it's gonna hurt a thing. I'm just gonna put the screws back in and leave it. Yeah. Alright. So when I turn it on, here's what I'm looking at. There's my view. Not bad at all. Looking out the front, easily see it's above the wheel. Like I said, it isn't totally level because of the glue, but for what I'm using it for, I don't see any problem with that. And that thing is solid as rock now. I gotta say, I'm thrilled. Alright, another project in the books. Hey, thanks for stopping by and watching. Be sure to subscribe. More content to come. Have a good day.